We could be one step closer to getting that new Mac Pro. Huawei offers a helping hand to Apple, and the 5 rumored iPhones to be coming later this year. Let's get right to the core of this week's Apple News and Rumors. Another week, another fresh batch of iPhone 11 rumors. This time, we seem to be getting a few more details about those 3 cameras. According to Steve Hemmerstoffer, well-known Apple leaker who goes by OnLeaks on Twitter, that triple camera configuration won't be limited to just the larger, more expensive Max model, as previous rumors had suggested. Instead, it will be available on all 3 models, along with a frosted glass option for the XS and the XS Max sequels. Now, he did mention his sources have not yet been confirmed, so this is by no means set in stone, especially because we're also getting conflicting information this week from Japanese blog site Makotakara, claiming that Apple will release not 3, but 5 new iPhone models in 2019. In this case, an additional 6.1-inch and 6.5-inch version of the iPhone with OLED screens and better camera. According to the report cited in 9to5Mac, the triple cameras would have larger sensors that would require more real estate on the back of the phone, forcing Apple to adjust the proportions of these 2 models specifically to keep that camera bump down to a minimum. Now, these higher-end versions of the iPhone would also have that reverse wireless charging option that we talked about last week, and would come with that 18-watt Lightning to USB-C fast charger in the box, something we'd been hoping to find in the box of last year's iPhone. So I know that's a lot to process, and it may seem like the rumors at this point are all over the place, but we are seeing 2 recurring themes. 1, the triple camera, and reverse wireless. Now, how it will unfold, we're not sure, but those 2 things seem to be coming up a lot. Another iPhone rumor we're revisiting this week revolves around 5G. As Android competitors have started to hit the market this year with 5G-enabled devices, Apple has fallen behind because of that legal battle with Qualcomm that seems to keep getting in the way. Apple could, of course, use Intel's 5G chips instead, but that would mean waiting until the 2020 launch cycle to incorporate it into its phones. Then last week, we saw a UBS report that hinted at the fact that Apple might have to delay this phone beyond 2020, a move that would most certainly hurt iPhone sales, as all the major service providers like Verizon have already started to test out and even roll out 5G networks in certain cities. But not so fast, because it seems like there could be a way out for Apple, and a way for them to skip Intel and Qualcomm altogether. According to Engadget, Chinese phone maker Huawei said it's open to selling its own 5G chipsets to Apple, and that chip would be available right now. Okay, but even if this does prove to be true, at this point neither Huawei or Apple have commented, there is a tiny little itty-bitty problem called the US government, which prevents US companies from buying Huawei equipment because of concerns that they might be using their products to spy on the US. So this is all to say that we're back to square one about that 5G iPhone. We don't know when it's coming. Now, remember that long overdue Mac Pro we've been promised for this year? Well, here's a sign it may actually be happening. According to a report from Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo cited in 9to5Mac, Apple is gearing up to release a 6K external display, presumably to launch alongside that Mac Pro. Now, no details about that actual Mac Pro were given in this report, but we did learn more about the monitor, which would have a 31.6-inch display with mini LED technology, not quite micro LED technology, which is also a thing, but mini. His report also said that Apple is seriously exploring mini LED technology for future products like the iPad and MacBook Pros. Now, one of the big advantages of this type of technology over the traditional OLED screens is that they have less burn-in. They're also said to have a wider color gamut, higher contrast and dynamic range, and they're more power efficient. Mini LEDs would also allow for thinner screen panels. But by future, I mean really far in the future, so don't expect to see these in this year's devices. We're talking like 2020 or 2021 iPads and MacBook Pros. What we are expecting soon are that Mac Pro and that 6K display, which are both rumored to launch at Apple's Developers Conference in June of 2019. That does it for our show today, but you can stay up to date with all the latest Apple news and rumors on cnet.com and join us next week for another Apple Core. See you then.